In this video, we're going to look at how to make a very simple Scratch game. It's going to be an infinite runner game, so it's going to keep on going forever. And let's take a look. So we got our cat, and we can move it up and down using the arrows. And we have to avoid the obstacles. I can get points every time I avoid them, and I lose a life every time I touch them. Okay. Right now, there's no game over, but we can look at how to implement that later. So let's start. We're going to start with a completely empty Scratch game. And we just have our cat here at the beginning, and we're going to move it to the left. We're going to start by looking at the motion of the cat, and then we'll add the obstacles after. So when we start the game, we're going to want the cat to be at the location that I've put right now. So we're going to make it go to this location. I'm going to set Y to 0 because that's going to be the center of the screen. Remember, the Y axis is a vertical axis. Okay, very good. Now, when we press the up arrow, I'm going to want the cat to move up. Okay, so when the up arrow key is pressed, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it glide. And we're going to make it glide to a new position. So let me move this a little bit around. Okay, so it's going to be a position that's above the current one. So let's try 120 to see. Let's start the game. If I press the up arrow, it glides slowly all the way up. I'm going to actually change that to 100. I press it, and it's going to go up. I'm going to make it a bit faster. 1 second seems to be too slow. Let's try 0.1 second instead of 1 second. Ooh, that's quite fast. So let's try another number, and you can change the speed depending on how you want your game to react. Okay, that seems good to me. Yes. The problem is now, if the cat is below at the bottom position, it's not going to move up. Let's see why is that. So let's start the control to make it move down. So when I'm going to press this time, I'm going to press the down arrow. I'm going to make it glide again. Oops, not to a random position. Here. So in the same amount of time, so the same speed moving up and down. And this time, instead of 100, I'm going to get negative 100. So if I press down, it goes down. And now if I press up, ooh, you move all the way up. It doesn't go back to the center position. So we're going to need to look at how we're going to be doing this. So to do that, I'm going to create a variable. And I'm going to make this variable only for this sprite. And I'm going to call it the Y position. Okay, and I can know it's only for this sprite because here, when it shows up, it says sprite 1. When I press the up arrow, I'm going to set my variable to the current, so set, not my variable, the Y position variable to the actual Y position. And I'm going to want it to move to its current position plus 100. So the way we're going to do this, we're going to say set the variable that's the Y position to its current. When it's blue, it means it's a current position. And then we're going to glide to the new Y position. I should rename this. Let me rename this variable. I'm going to call it the new Y position, so it's a bit less confusing. And I'm going to put it here. So now, let's take a look. If I move down, and I move up, it moves to this position, then it moves to this position, and oh no, it moves all the way up. So we're going to need to make it glide all the way up. Only if it's... We're going to need to make it go upwards only if it's below this position. Okay. So we can use a conditional statement, and what we're going to do, we're going to check if the current position is less than, so the next position is 100, so I'm going to put less than 90. So if it's below somewhere about here, we can move it up. So if the Y position is less than 90, then move up. Let's try it. And now I press, and it doesn't move up anymore. Okay, we have to fix the moving down now, and we're going to use the same logic, except, so we can duplicate this 3 blocks. Okay, let's put this one back here, and let's take those 3 blocks, put them, okay. We're going to, for the down arrow, except now when we press the down arrow, we don't want the Y position to increase, we want it to decrease, to go lower. So we're going to add -10, or we could subtract 10. And we're going to change the condition. So now we're going to check that the Y position is greater than, if you see right now the Y position is -100, I don't want it to move it down. So only if the Y position is greater than -90. Let's try it. And now it can. If I press down, it doesn't go down anymore. If I press up, it goes to the center. So you can move to 3 positions. Okay, very good. So we don't need this variable to be displayed anymore. So let's hide it. And what we're going to do, I'm going to rename my sprite player, so then I know it's the player. And we're going to create a new sprite. We're going to choose a sprite. And we're going to I'm going to choose a ball. Obviously, feel free to develop your own sprites as you wish. So let's rename this obstacle. So that's what we're going to need to be avoiding. All right, so let's make the size a little bit bigger. Let's put them at 150. How does that look? That's pretty big. Okay. Then we're going to go into the costume. Okay, I'm going to erase all the other costumes. And what I want to do is to have 2 balls. So I'm going to copy this ball and paste it. Ooh, and now I have a second one, and I'm going to move it a bit lower. So somewhere about here. So that's my first set of obstacles. Then we're going to duplicate this. The second set of obstacles, I'm going to move the ball that is down up. So I'm going to have to move the cat up for it to avoid. And one more set of obstacles where the cat's going to have to be in the middle. I'm going to put this one here. And you can do this a bit more precisely than the way I'm doing it. Okay, so now I have the 3 configurations. And I'm probably going to make it a little bit smaller. Let's put 130. Yes. So that there's enough space for the cat to go below. Maybe even 120 might be enough. Okay, there's enough space for the cat to go below. There should be enough space for the cat to go at the top. I'm just going to move this maybe a bit down. And the last one, let's move this one a bit up, maybe even a bit more. This one a bit more down. Okay, there's definitely enough space for our cat. All right, so when we start the game, we're going to want those objects to be on the left side. We're going to make them move to the left side of the screen, and then 2 possible events can happen. Either they touch a cat, or they're going to reach the end. In both cases, when this happens, we're going to want to reset the position of the balls back into here. So, when we start the game, we're going to move our objects somewhere around there. So let's put 0 for the y. I'm going to move them a bit more to the right. So what about 200? Okay, that sounds maybe even more. 220, where is that? Oh, see, they're here now. Can we put it even more? 240, a bit further, perfect. They're here to the right. So, I'm going to make a variable for the speed of the ball. And again, I'm going to make it only for this sprite, because I don't need to access it from other sprites. Okay, so I've got my variable for the speed, and we're going to set it to, at the beginning, let's set it to 10, and that's it. What we're going to do now, so we're going to repeat forever. And we're going to change the x value. We want them to move only horizontally. So we're going to change the x value by the speed. And we want the speed to represent a movement to the left. So I'm going to make this number negative. And we're going to change the x by the speed. So every time the x value is going to decrease by 10. Let's see. Okay, and we can see them moving to the left. Oh, but then they get stuck. The position there right now is negative 251. So what we're going to do, we're going to have a conditional statement if the position now becomes smaller than negative 250. So if the x position becomes smaller than negative 250, we're going to make it go back to where it started. So I just want to duplicate. Okay, go to 240. Okay, and we can see, ooh, okay, very good. And I can move up, but there's no interaction, and it's always the same costume. So when it reaches the end, I'm going to do something very simple, and we're going to improve that later, but just to see how to get the games running, I'm going to go to the next costume. So what is the next costume here? Well, it's going to keep on alternating between those. So now is this costume. It's going to go back to the first costume, second costume, etc. So we get a different pattern every time. Now, we need to do something if they collide with a player. And we can do that very easily in Scratch because there's already a collision system that exists. And we're going to use an if statement again. And we're going to go into sensing, and we're going to say if it's touching the player, then we're going to do the same. We're going to go back to 240, and we could change costume again, but I'm not going to do that, so that leaves the player the time to react. Okay, so that seems to work fine for now. What I would like to do as well, so there's different things. I would like to increase the difficulty, so I want the obstacles to move faster and faster as time goes along. And especially whenever the obstacles are going to reach the end of the screen, I want the speed to change a little bit. So here is when the obstacle reaches the left of the screen. What I'm going to do is I'm going to change the speed. All right, we're going to change the speed. So not by 1, otherwise I would actually decrease the speed, because remember the speed is a negative number, and then we would see them slowing down every time. And you can see right now they're slowing down and the speed is getting closer to 0. So I'm going to change it instead of by 1, by negative 1. So let's try it. Okay, the speed is decreasing. Oh, it's getting a bit faster. It's definitely getting faster. Oh, this is getting difficult. Okay, so that's working. So I can hide my variable, What we can do as well, we could have a variable to keep track of the score. So I'm going to make a variable for the score. At the beginning of the game, we're going to want to set the score variable to 0. And we want to increase the score by 1 whenever the obstacle reaches the end. And that was here. So we're going to change the score by 1 point. So I get 1 point every time I escape the obstacles. Oh, very good. I'm going to put the score on the right side of the screen. And we're going to make one more variable for the number of lives. So I'm going to set it at the beginning to 3, but you can give as many lives as you want to your player. And whenever we're going to come in contact, we're going to decrease the number of lives. So we're going to change life by -1. If we change it by -1, we're decreasing it by 1. So let's see that it works. I've got 3 lives, 1 point. Let's see if I can lose a life. Yes. Oh, perfect. This is working perfectly fine. So this is going to be the base for your game. And then you can, there's a lot of different ways you can improve it. You can add a background to it. You can change the sprites to other sprites. It would be a good idea to have a starting screen giving instructions. You could also have an end screen, because having a -20 lives might not be what you want. But this is where we're going to stop for now, and we'll see later how we can improve it.